but business decisions are made by those whose job it is to make business decisions. And ultimately, really, what happens in IT should be driven as a business decision because it has a cost, it has an implication, and it has an impact on the cost of goods sold, and it has an impact on your revenue. You need a translation mechanism, and I think this is where sort of FinOps fits the gap in terms of feeding the right information with the right level of translation and the right representation. That's how FinOps does. It takes the technical data and kind of strips of the stuff it just doesn't need to. You don't need to know. It's not it's erroneous. It's just going to get in the way. But it represents things as what is meaningful to the business. This is because in doing so allows you in some ways to defend some IT decisions. For example, I was talking to a customer recently, and it was about FinOps, but it was also about their DR strategy. And I kind of pointed out, well, DR is a business benefit, isn't it? It's not something you do for fun. You do it because you want increased uptime, or you want reduced downtime if there's a big issue, or depending on what is your level of requirement, because the business will probably say, whatever the business says, we can tolerate this or we can't tolerate that. And so you have an IT response, right? You have an IT kind of mechanism to avoid that downtime or to speed that recovery. But that has a cost. Now, if you represent that cost in terms of unit economics, and that cost, because it's a scalable cost, because it's DR, as you scale, your DR site potentially needs to scale, then it's a cost per, right? So it's a cost per or whatever your demand driver is. And you can represent that as a cost per, because as it grows, it grows. If it's a single action, it's a single thing you're doing, then it doesn't represent cost. But there's a bump to begin with, but then it kind of stays the same. So it's very important to understand what is within the kind of purview of being driven by the demand, and not kind of mix that up a bit and not get it too kind of confused. So I think that, but if it is driven by the demand, it's a very good way of representing to the business why there is this extra cost, and actually kind of putting it in the terms of the business benefit it's delivering. And additional stability and additional uptime or availability or reduced downtime in the case of an incident is very much a business benefit.